So what did you try?
I immediately had the intentions to bring some top desserts of the week. So they're these crazy looking shakes, and I
Yep.
got the Brooklyn Blackout, which is literally chocolate ice cream with chocolate brownie, chocolate drizzle, chocolate chips, and a double layer of chocolate infused swirl into it. So it was chocolate overload.
We are absolutely, without question, indisputably number one at using the phrase super stinking fantastic.
Have you done it every episode?
I don't know that I have, but I've used it many at some point or another in the conversation. I've referenced how
Yes.
super stinking fantastic I am or feel or live. It's come up enough times.
When we first landed in California, we went to this famous donut shop, which has this massive donut. I know it the most from is Iron Man whenever he's sitting
Yes.
inside the donut.
And he's sitting in the donut as Iron Man.
Yes, this is gonna get some flack. My family may come back at me, so I'm gonna be putting a lot on the line here. But it was probably the best donut that I have ever had, more than Krispy Kreme and Yankee Doodle. Rolling another week, another duo jive. That it is. How's it going, Chris?
It's going amazing. Super stinking fantastic.
Good, good.
Yep. And you?
I'm hanging in there. Recently, it was a bittersweet weekend, and I'll get into it a little bit more. But just a quick recap: I went on vacay and got sick, and that's never fun. You never want to get sick on vacay. So
Yes. And I've done it. So we got to hear the story.
it was a bittersweet one because this trip was became more food oriented than roller coaster oriented. By the way, I went in with my family, Tiff and Lincoln and I. This is Noah. We went to Disneyland. We went to California for the weekend and got to explore the two theme parks that are Disneyland in the Disneyland resort there. And we're
All
doing
right.
some fun theme park activities with the rides.
All
And they
right.
had
Yeah.
some food events going on that we were going to take advantage of. Both Tiffany and I were very excited for. And she kind of still was and was able to. Me, not so much, on the other hand. So bittersweet.
Sad. Yeah. How bitter.
Very much so. But like I said, this is Noah. This is your host, Noah, and your other host, Chris, over here.
Whoop.
Yep.
Dad.
Yep.
Matter of fact, just in case you didn't
Dad.
figure
That's it. Yep. But if this is your first time in, welcome. Welcome to this week's episode of Duo Jive, whether you're tuning in for the first time or have somehow survived all 39 episodes so far. Seriously, thank you. Welcome to Wyoming's #1 podcast for questionable advice, accidental wisdom, and deeply unnecessary storytelling.
Yes, at #1, by the way. Stay at #1 there. I'm very thankful for that. It's all
And I
because
think,
of y'all.
well, at some point we'll be able to say that and it'll mean something.
Well, I don't know. It means something to me.
Never look down on small beginnings.
Yeah, that's right. That's what scripture says. Do not despise small beginnings.
Small beginnings. That's it. Amen.
And it's more fun, or it's better when you can have fun during that small beginnings part. And most likely
Exactly.
look back at some point and say, remember when we were little bitty and nobody was listening to us?
Well, it makes me feel better because now I can figure this out without feeling like I immediately have a large crowd watching me and
Yep.
judging me. It's like I can do whatever I want, and then hopefully I get better in that process, and then people along the way will join, find, and hang out with
Yeah.
us.
No performance anxiety, huh?
Nope. It'll kind of just go away over time. I don't think it ever will, but
Yeah.
that's the goal
Well,
anyways.
it will. It will. As a matter of fact, it already has. If you compare how we sound and what we're doing in our episodes today, right? Like today or last week or next week, if you compare that to how we sounded the very first time, I I guarantee you there is a remarkable difference. And it's a lot of
And we're only
fun.
39 episodes in.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't take
Once we
I don't
get to
think
like,
it takes huh?
well, yeah, there's always improving. There's
Yeah,
always
absolutely.
improvement. And
Absolutely.
once we get to episode 50, we might have to do a little bit of a look back recap and comparison to episode
Okay.
1 to episode
Okay.
50.
Okay, yeah, right. Grab
11
some
episodes from now.
snippets of those first ones and bring them into the. But wait a minute now. We're also talking about doing something when we hit the big number.
100?
Is it? Is it 100? 100, no, I'm sorry. Not episodes, but 100 followers or listeners on TikTok.
It's only 50 actually, and we are
Okay.
one step closer. It's good you brought that up because we are now 17. Yes, we gained a whopping one subscriber or follower on TikTok. Not much, not much. And that's partially my fault because I was on vacation, so it limited my posting ability. I was more focused on our adventure rather than posting some social media content for Duo Jive. But more to come. There's more to come and look forward to
I'm
that
very
as
pleased.
well.
Yeah, I'm
The
very
do
pleased.
Duo Jive, it's slow growth, but like I said,
Absolutely.
one extra follower, so 17
Yes.
away, and we will be able to live stream on TikTok. And I think that'll be great for us. We'll be able to live stream some pre-shows, get to chat with the audience, and then
Yes.
unfortunately we'll have to cut it off there for them to look forward to the next episode.
So, follower number 39, thank you so much for making our number even that much more achievable. Only 17 to go. Make it a point to tell your friends, tell your family, hey, there's these two guys that are, by the way, number one.
Mhm.
That cracks me up saying we're number one about anything, quite frankly. But number
Mhm.
one, especially in the unnecessary storytelling category,
Oh
right?
man, we're good at that. I think we definitely earned that.
Absolutely. And it comes naturally, and it's fortunate where we have that. But just recently, Joe Rogan kind of told off an Academy Award company, if you will, or agency, or whatever you call them, because they wanted him to pay some large fee to make himself or get himself registered as potentially the number one podcast in the world. And he said, "Nah, I don't have to do that because we already know I'm number one," and he is.
We already know.
Right? He already knows he's number one in every category. So yeah, that
It's
that was kind of
impressive.
an interesting thing, and for us to say we're number one at anything is quite the tall feat, for the
You
lack
can
of a
be
better
number 1
term.
in anything.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of figuring out what that thing is, and being truthful about it is the trick, because
Yeah.
you can bend the rules and bend what you're saying. I feel like we come by it honestly,
Yeah.
especially that phrase right there.
Oh, absolutely. We're not bending anything. I mean, and
No,
not to mention, and this is a really proud sense of accomplishment for us. We are absolutely, without question, indisputably number one at using the phrase super stinking fantastic.
that's all you. Yeah, you do succeed in that tremendously. That needs to become your intro slogan. I think that's
My
well, it
super
already
stinking
is. It already is.
fantastic.
It is.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, to be honest,
yeah,
have you done it every episode?
I don't know. I don't know that I have, but I've used it many at some point or another in the conversation. I've referenced how
Yes.
super fantastic I am, or feel, or live, or how appreciative I am for being super stinking fantastic. So it's come up enough times and remains the number one thing that we are number one at
Mhm.
because nobody else does
I
it.
think you've earned that.
What would be absolutely incredible though is if we found out there was somebody else already doing it somewhere. They use
I
super stinking
highly doubt
fantastic.
that.
And to find out, I would love to find out where they heard it.
Right?
Because
My guess is you.
I've been in more than half of the states in America within the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years, roughly, for my craft, right? As an EHS consultant for refineries and chemical plants and what have you. I have been in a lot of places, and a lot of people have said to me, they've asked me this question. What did you say? When they ask me how I'm
What
doing,
is that?
because yeah, right. How are you doing, Chris?
Really?
Doing super stinking fantastic, bro. How are you? Right. And inevitably, every place I go, people are like, what did you just say? What? Say that again. What? They want to be able to try to understand exactly what I said because I do say it pretty fast. And then oftentimes
Mm.
people are telling me, quite frequently, as a matter of fact, people are telling me, well, I'm not doing that good.
Mhm.
How are you doing?
You
I'm
seem to
not
have
doing
me
that good.
beat.
And what's funny is I'm not trying to beat anybody. That's just how I am. But then my reply to
Yeah.
that is, I'm terribly sorry. Because that's everywhere I go, man. That's what I say to people. And they say that because people say that. That's my reply. They'll say, I'm
I
not doing
wish
that.
for you that you could be doing as good, but,
But yeah,
it's just a lifestyle.
absolutely.
I
And
think
that's
that's
all
it.
part
I
of
think
us.
it's the lifestyle mindset and understanding that. But before we go any further, I also need to mention if
Yep.
what we spoke about briefly on our TikToks being 17 followers away. If you haven't already, make sure to check out our both TikTok and Instagram accounts. We have fun clips from previous episodes. You can go check them
Yes.
out and maybe
Yes.
find a clip or something from a previous episode that you might enjoy. Make sure to drop a comment with what you want to see or hear in the future. Follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. It helps more
Yep.
than you think.
Yep.
And yeah, that's a wrap
Absolutely.
on call to
I've
action. But
Yeah, I've been
otherwise,
sharing it like crazy on TikTok,
good.
especially
There's more to come.
especially the little recaps you've been doing, which have been fantastic.
Those are fun.
Been having fun with those. Yep.
Before we started getting into Duo Jive and who we are,
Yep.
Noah and Chris, that is, I
Yep.
briefly spoke about how I went on a little weekend extravaganza to California. So I went from Wyoming all the way to California, which you could imagine that is quite the change of pace. That is a different lifestyle, if you will, even to that of Florida. Like I feel like going to Florida is a fast-paced, busy, very Florida vibes, not as Wyoming, not as quiet, not as wintry, but
Yep.
California is on a whole nother level
Yes, it
to that.
is. Yes, it is.
And then on top of it, we sprinkled some Disneyland in there. It
Yes.
was an eventful weekend. It was an eventful one for sure, one for the books. I got a lot of good memorabilia. We went during the 50th anniversary, so because I partnered with I stayed at a Good Neighbor Hotel, they gave us free Disneyland 70th anniversary pins. This was
Okay.
free. You can never
Okay.
complain about a free souvenir and a lot of other knickknacks and such to that degree. So it was a fun one. We started off strong with getting to LA, which is still weird to say, to be honest, now that I've marked that off the bucket list. But
Yeah.
getting to
Sure.
LA and getting our bearings before heading over to Anaheim for Disneyland for the little 2-day weekend that we had there, 2.5-day weekend, and did some Disneyland. It was a lot of fun, other than getting horribly ill.
Horribly what? Horribly
Horribly
ill?
ill.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just so sad because I can only anticipate or think I know how much you might have been looking forward to trying out all the different types of cuisine in your trip,
Oh, man,
all the locations.
I was gonna drop some money on food, let's just say.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I mean, saved you money, right?
It did.
Not a reason you
If you wanna look at the positives, yes. It saved me some money. I tried to capitalize in the moment, and since I couldn't eat food, I was still wanting to be involved because my stomach was taking a turn for the worst, which wasn't very good for eating, but at the same time, it wasn't severe enough to where I couldn't enjoy, like, kiddie rides with Lincoln. So I was like, "Well, let's go ride some fun kiddie rides. Let's go do this, that, and this show, this parade, all that good stuff, and be
That's
a part
amazing.
with him," which was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Made the best of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
Absolutely.
was only one of the parks. The other one, I was completely fine.
Okay. You were completely fine as in your illness? You weren't feeling the effects of
Yeah, it
illness?
didn't hit me till day 2. I still have yet to question if it was food poisoning or just overdoing it on day 1 of Disneyland because we got there, we traveled to Anaheim, we stayed the night, or we did some Disney or downtown Disney. Please forgive me. I may or may not call it Disney Springs throughout the pod, but that's because I'm so used to Florida over to California, so
Sure.
this is new. There's still
Sure.
downtown Disney there. But we did that evening. The first day was Disneyland Park, and then the second one was Disney's California Adventure, which is DCA, their second park. And then the third day, we did some Disney breakfast, character breakfast, did a little bit of exploring in Hollywood along with Santa Monica Beach, some running around basically there in LA, and then flew back home. So it was a quick weekend, but eventful for sure. But, oh, yeah,
No doubt.
only half of that was me being sick, which was Disney's California Adventure, and then the second day where we explored LA. The first half, I eat a lot. I chowed down on some snacks, and this will all be revealed. I will add real quick, this will all be revealed because I did manage to capture a lot of this footage, which means in probably give it a week or 2 maybe if you are listening day of this pod. If not, it may already be out. There's gonna be some vlogs, so go check out my personal channel, that's Noah Avery on
Yep.
YouTube, or Yep, I'm Noah on Instagram if you wanna
Yep.
find me. You can
Yep.
see some vlogs regarding the Disneyland Adventure, but overall, we made the best of it. We had, I'd probably say my, I had a few favorite moments in it, one of them being outside of Disneyland altogether when we first landed.
Okay.
When we first
Okay.
landed in
Yes. Yeah.
California, we went to this donut building shop, this famous donut shop, which has this massive donut. It's actually from the one that I know it the most from is Iron Man whenever he's sitting
Yes.
inside the donut.
Yeah. He's
And
pouty
those donuts,
and he's sitting in the donut as Iron Man.
yes. And he talks to Nick Fury.
Yep. Yep. It is iconic. No doubt about it.
Well, that scene made me wanna go there because it was literally 4 minutes away from the airport. So, I went over there, checked it out, I was like, "This is awesome. Gonna might as well get a donut while I'm here, start the vacation off right," and picked up a few, and this is gonna get some flack. My family may come back at me, so I'm gonna be putting a lot on the line here, but
What do you
it was probably the best donut that I have ever had more than Krispy Kreme and Yankee Doodle.
That is, yeah,
I
you're
said it.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right because your family
I've said it.
is just like I am and like you used to be, with the understanding of the fact that Yankee Doodle was it, right? It was our top one, and then Krispy Kreme
Mhm.
came right in under that. And I don't know that Randy's.
There's
I don't
some allegiance to Krispy Kreme or to Yankee Doodle.
naturally, but I don't think
Mhm.
Randy's. Of course, you probably did not taste it, but one of the things about Yankee Doodle Donuts in Magnolia, Texas, and right around Magnolia, right outside of Houston, one of the things about that donut business is that it wasn't because it was my mother and father-in-law running it, right, that started it and ran it, and your grandma and grandpa. It had nothing to do with that. They just had the most amazing donuts you could possibly get, or so you thought until now. But I mean, I've never tasted an apple fritter like they did an apple fritter. And I don't think Randy's could possibly touch it. And it's one of the reasons why I always thought Yankee was the best.
I can't say. I didn't have an apple fritter.
Why?
I didn't have an apple fritter, so I can't say. I had a glazed donut and I had a Nutella covered donut.
Ew, ew. You might as well
So
spread
those were the
boogers.
2 that I had, and
Ugh.
both no, 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 no.
Oh, I just
Hazelnut
said it.
is a
I said it.
more it's for a more refined palate that needs something to further than chocolate, than
Okay,
cocoa.
fine. I got a hick
So you
palate
go with
then.
hazelnut.
I got a redneck
I
palate.
don't know what to tell
It's
you,
not
man. I don't
refined
know
at
what to tell
all.
you. I don't know what to tell you. Hazelnut is something that I've grown to like over time. It wasn't something I liked
Ouch.
at first. Okay, let's get that straight. I grew to like it, and I got myself a hazelnut donut because I was
Are
like,
you?
"Ooh, chocolate and deliciousness." And it had
Mm.
like crumbs on top of it, so like it was like cookie crumbs with hazelnut. It was good. And then I was like, I got to try the glaze to compare, and it beat. Now keep in mind, this was one. No, this was yeah 1:30 on a Thursday. This wasn't fresh. This wasn't by any
Wow.
means fresh, and this still beat Yankee Doodle and Krispy Kreme.
Wow.
I was like, if I could get my hands on this donut fresh, it would be a game changer.
Well, then, a game
Like, I was
changer in
like,
a
I
way.
understand why people live in California just for that donut shop alone.
No, really. No,
I'm just
you're
kidding.
full of
I would
crud.
live in California for donuts, but it was good.
Yeah, that would be saying an awful lot, right? It doesn't really have
Mhm.
provide enough nutritional value to justify that. But nonetheless, I mean, okay. Would it be a game changer? How would it be a game changer is the question that I find myself asking. If you got a hold of one that was fresh, right off of the assembly line. Did they do them
That's
on
what
an
I'm saying,
assembly?
man.
Did they have an assembly line there? Is it
No, I don't know actually.
Like Krispy
So
Kreme or
their building was very tiny. It was like a little pull-up, drive-up shop. Like, I'm talking super tiny. You don't even have an indoor. You had a window that you could walk up to and then a drive-through. And then they
okay,
had a separate building where I think they actually made the donuts, but that was
okay.
all sealed off. That was all enclosed. and then they hauled their donuts over to the show building, if you will, with the massive donut and with the
Display.
display and everything like that.
Yep. Everything was set up for display in that area. Was that
Mhm.
was that where I forget her name, but there was the professor and then the girl that Thor liked in Earth Girl, right? Was what's her name? Nicole Portman?
Thor?
Yeah. What was that?
Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman. Thank you very much. That where they set up their little shop, was that in the donut place as well? In that whatever movie it was where
I don't think it was.
okay. For some reason it all seems
I
like it
could
all
be
happened.
mistaken, but I don't think it was.
Yeah. Yeah, forget I asked. So
All I remember is from Iron Man.
as far as Randy's was concerned. Well, you know what's funny?
Mhm.
Somebody else used that set, if you will. They made it a set, right? That location, that donut, which is iconic, by the way, for LA. It always has been for a long, long
Oh,
time
yeah.
before Iron Man, right? And somebody else used that in a movie. Was it Men in Black? But in
I
that movie, in a scene, in whatever movie I saw it in, it got knocked off the building and was rolling down the road. Do you not remember that?
Dang it, yeah, what movie are you talking about?
I
I
don't
remember
know.
that scene, but I can't tell
Yeah,
you the movie. You
yeah, it
just made
was
me
just
draw a blank. It's been in a couple movies. It's a pretty famous donut.
right,
And
right.
this was only one of the first favorite highlight moments that I had, just was at Randy's Donuts.
Okay, all right.
Only one. I had a few, but that was only the first one,
And you
and
started it off there.
that's what drew me there. Yes, that's what drew me there was because I was like, "This thing is famous. Let's go get a picture with it. It's 5 minutes down the road,
Yep.
and then afterwards, I'll just head out." And then I was like, might as well get a donut." And then,
Mhm.
to my surprise, it's now, I think, my favorite donut, which is a
Well,
shame
now.
because I don't know if I'll ever go back to California.
Well, if anything, we might wanna make a trip there at least to get some donuts so you can prove that it's worth as
We may,
much as you say.
especially with how cheap the flight were.
Yep.
How cheap the flight was.
The flights
It
were
was literally $108 for 2 people.
yep, yep, yep. Yeah, alright, we could take the whole family. Just take a trip there for
Well, if
2
they wanna
days.
go, that is.
Hit Randy's and do something else that's iconic there as well. That's one of the things about LA, right? It has a lot of iconic
Yeah.
stuff, whether it's the Hollywood sign or Randy's Donuts I mean, then the list goes on and on and on because so much there has been used. Remember the La
Oh,
Brea
yeah, well, that's
tar
movie central.
Yeah. Yep. I always remember the La Brea tar pits from an End of the World movie, where the tar pits were boiling over and people were burning their feet off and all that jazz. Yeah, man. So you hit the
Oof.
Randy's and then what?
Well, that was my one of my top favorite moments, and then in the second one, I just realized I seem to be having a trend here. They seem to be connected to food because the second one was at Storytellers Cafe in Disney Resort. At the Grand Californian Hotel, they had a breakfast character buffet to where you go and you get breakfast and it's a buffet style and you get to meet characters while you're eating. It's pretty, similar if anyone out there is listening and they've been to Disney World or
Yep.
they've been to that one. It's
Yep.
fantastic. It
Yep.
was it was well worth the money. The experience alone, the food was out of this world to a point to where I definitely ate too much. I'm going to be honest. That's probably why a portion as to why my stomach's still messed up 3 days later after getting off of vacation
How much
because I decided to overdo it midway
Oh,
with a buffet, but while we were there, Lincoln got to meet a bunch of characters. That was a blast. It was fun being able to eat with all of them. Top
yep. Yep.
moment for sure.
Yeah. And his facial
And then a
expressions,
little
all the
more laid seeing it. Yeah, that's it. And eating good food while we're doing it.
yep. Although I
While
don't
we
do
were at the Grand Californian, that's where what's that?
I'm sorry, I was just interjecting. I don't ever do buffets ever. Can't for a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
reasons,
yeah, yeah. Me,
of
me neither.
which one
Yeah, I
is
don't. I don't go to
that
Golden Corrals. I don't go to Hibachis. No, nothing.
yep. Nope. Nope. Neither do I. Yeah, and that's the funny thing. I mean, I could hear my favorite pizza in the world is my favorite food is pizza. My favorite pizza is Pizza Hut. They used to have a buffet, and I even got to the point where I couldn't go there. That's just the way it goes.
That's crazy. And they actually started that back up again.
Did they? Hmm.
A
Well,
lot of locations. The ones all in Casper, Wyoming and Cheyenne, Wyoming have buffets. Where I live, no, no, they couldn't fathom doing that. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be closed within the next month or 2.
they can't stay open even though all their competition has shut down. No. No. That's tragic. That
That's
is
my guess. My bet is that that's gonna be the next business closed here.
mm,
Unfortunate, but that's neither here nor there. That is, that's getting off on a tangent,
yeah, you weren't
but
visiting that pizza.
I have a
Yep.
3rd favorite moment.
Okay. So your
I have
first
a
favorite
3rd
wait,
favorite
you were
moment from this trip.
you were at your first favorite moment was the Randy's. The second one was the
Yes,
buffet?
Grand Californian Buffet
Fantastic.
with Lincoln, like experiencing the character buffet with Lincoln. And then the 3rd experience favorite moment that I had was after we ate at this was directly after we ate at the buffet, we ended up going and exploring the Grand Californian Hotel, which is very lodge-esque. It's like you're in a lodge in the middle of a national forest. It's almost homey. It's kind of weird. It's very reminiscent of that of Yellowstone or Snowy Range. And while we were exploring the resort in the lobby, they have this massive fire, raging fire underneath this mantle that's just crazy looking. And in front of it, they have like 10 to 20 rocking chairs, and you can sit in all of them and feel the heat radiating from the fire. And you just rock and just kind of
Yeah,
enjoy the
fall
ambiance
asleep.
that is the Grand Californian lobby.
Yeah,
Easily,
yeah,
easily, and
yeah.
especially after we just ate and chowed down on food, we were nice and full. We went over there, and even Lincoln was so calm. He literally and I'll post it so you can see this if you go and watch the video. Lincoln laid back in his chair and just rocked, and him and I rocked for like a good 10 minutes, just kinda chilling by the fire. That was a good core memory right there.
No doubt, no doubt, and you shot some videos shot some video of
Mhm,
that. Fantastic. Good for you, and good for him.
mhm.
That's gonna be something to really look at
Yes.
later.
He'll be able to look back.
Yeah, yeah, and experience it even though he doesn't remember it. That's awesome. So, the number 1 was the Randy's, number 2 was the it's like the Crystal Palace?
Yes, very similar to the Crystal Palace in
Okay. In downtown Disney or
Magic Kingdom.
Main Street, yeah, Magic Kingdom.
Yes, Main Street in Magic Kingdom, but it was a breakfast buffet, and it was in the Grand Californian, so it was very wilderness-esque, storyteller, like sitting by a campfire telling a scary story type of vibes. Very
Well,
homey.
how appropriate that your 3rd favorite thing was sitting around the fire in those rockers.
Yes. That was just like an unexpected moment. We didn't expect to come across that just walking through the hotel and sitting there and just taking the next 30 minutes to an hour just chilling and enjoying the ambiance that we were in. It was one of those
So,
moments.
was the park not busy when you went this
The
weekend?
park.
Yeah.
Okay, so funnily enough, Disneyland, it was great. We went on Friday. It was reasonable. It was crowded to, that we're used to compared to Florida, Magic Kingdom. Very similar to
Right,
that.
right.
Felt very similar.
Because that's nuts.
Disney's California Adventure, DCA, their second park, was the second day we went, and it was on Saturday. And for some reason, I think we caught this weird jumble to where there was a Run Disney event going on. So there was people from all over the world coming there to run in the morning before the parks open, and I think they all came to the parks after it opened, along with a new event called the Lunar New Year event. It's a Chinese tradition that they have going on from now until Valentine's Day for
Okay.
like the next 2 weeks. So it's a short event. And that event and the Run Disney and it being a Saturday, it was outrageously busy at Disney's California Adventure. Not
Okay.
only did I deal with a bit of sickness, not being able to eat, but then the crowds were overwhelming. I'm talking every ride in that park was a 120-minute wait. And who wants to wait 120 minutes to ride Ariel, to ride The Little Mermaid?
Nobody well,
So
most certainly wouldn't.
I exactly am the same. So I did have Lightning Lane. We took advantage of that and were able to ride a few rides without having to wait. But the park was crowded. It was.
Well then, okay, that turns a and that makes a really, really short weekend become even that much more intense because you spend too much time,
Mhm.
quite frankly. If every ride's 120 minutes long, you're gonna be spending too much time waiting without
Way
some
too much
stuff.
time waiting.
Yeah, right on, man. So, you made it work.
Yep, we made the best of it considering all the different. It was a first park, so we were just kind of taking it all in, going to Cars Land for the first time, Avengers Campus for the first time, Pixar Pier. These are all lands inside the Disney California Adventure Park, so the second land, and these are all not familiar to Tiffany and I because we've never been to those aren't in Disney World, so we've
Right,
never
in
been to
Florida.
those lands.
Right.
So we went and experienced them for the first time, and just walking around was fun in itself. It was just unfortunate that it was as crowded as it was. Made for a less, we weren't able to do as much as we wanted. Granted, I couldn't do as much as I wanted in the first place because of my stomach just
Condition.
giving up on me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you weren't pros, right? In other words, you've never been to Disneyland before, not even California for that matter, but you've never been to Disneyland before, so you really kind of had to get the lay of the land, and this was a good
But yeah,
trip for that, right?
exactly.
And the next time, which obviously means it is something that we need to put on our list of things to do because we do a trip, typically try to do a trip a year as a
Yes,
family.
we do. We do. This year is a little different, but yeah, we like to. Last year was a in the mountains trip in Montana, and that was a lot of fun. That was a blast. But
Yep.
maybe something in the realm of this. I don't know how many people are going to want to go to California, especially in our little group, but it's
Well, I
definitely
think
something to bring up.
why I don't know. I doubt very seriously anybody in our group would not want to go, except for this year. Obviously, this year, like you said, this year is different because everybody's having a baby. Once we get past this year, we can make put this in the lineup somewhere. I mean, I really wanted to do a cruise this year, and since we're not
Yes,
doing
me
it
too.
because when since we're not doing it because everybody's having a baby, possibly do it going next year. Kind of hope we
Possibly.
are.
That would be the smart move.
Although, would it really be the smart move? Because when you got brand new babies, is it fun to take them on a cruise?
I feel like because there's some benefits there. I think you have a couple strong benefits that don't have on normal vacations, depending on
Okay.
the type of vacations you compare it to. If you're going to like Disney World or Disneyland, then yes, these are going to be the cruise is going to be an advantage because you're not having to wake up and leave your hotel to go do the parks. You literally walk up, you wake up and you walk out your room and you just walk downstairs to the floor that you want to go to. Your room is always accessible, which makes
Yep.
it very easy for mothers that have small
Yep.
babies to take care of them, nap time, all that good stuff without losing a lot on traveling or having to travel a far distance to get back to their room. Advantage number one. Advantage number two is with younger babies, if you're on a Disney cruise, they have advantages to dropping off your baby or your toddler or your kid at their daycare and you sign them in and then you can kind of have your time to yourself and go explore. Cruises, this goes for all of them, have unlimited food.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
boom boom
Yep.
boom,
Yep.
right there you've
Yep.
got all your bases covered and when you're going with that large of a crowd, it just makes it more affordable. There are some major advantages. Now, if you compare it to a trip where you go out to the mountains and you're staying at a cabin and you're literally not leaving the cabin, then those aren't really advantages. You're gonna have that same experience in the cabin, so it really depends on where you go and what you do.
Right. Whether we do it in a cruise ship or state of the art cruise ship or a very rustic disconnect cabin, I guess we
Mhm.
could see the same on a cruise ship. You're going to want to take a wagon, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
that's a
yeah.
lot of walking because cruise ships do have walking or a stroller, I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
would be the same.
Strollers will do the job, and
Yep.
like I said, they do have those, depending on the age of your child, they have those, daycares to where you can drop
Well,
your kid off at a couple hours at a time or for the day
yeah,
and
or
have
or
run
the
amok of the ship.
better way to take a cruise than with grandma and grandpa, where we can watch
Mhm.
all of the kids right at one time, and you never have to drop them off at the daycare, and we can have fun with them. Yep,
That's not everybody has that at their disposal, though. That's more of a us thing that we have an advantage of. Thank you, by the
absolutely,
way, but
absolutely.
there
It's
are
one of the
advantages
reasons.
there.
It is one of the reasons why we are starting to want to take the trips more often, is because we can have all the kids and all and their siblings and cousins. We can have them all at one time in our care, and you guys can go do your thing. I rather
Mhm.
like that a lot. And one of these days, when we're really old, we'll be thankful that we can do that. and not have to
That's it.
not have to travel to everybody's houses to see the grandkids, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, well, okay, so you guys did those parts of Disney. Anything else that you wanna talk about or share with the audience about your trip this weekend?
Well, I tried a new dessert. I tried a new dessert while I was at the
Of
Disneyland
course.
resort. But
Okay.
before I get into mine, did you happen to try a new dessert?
I didn't do anything.
You didn't.
I did not. No,
Slacking. You had a
absolutely.
whole week to try one new dessert.
And to top it all off, I even had the thought in my mind, we're gonna be recording the podcast, so I am gonna go try out a new flavor at Andy's, and I did not. I became a
And I would
slacker.
have been so excited to hear it.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I had a lot to do today, but it wasn't necessarily that prohibited me. You know what it was? I got a call rather last minute that I my glasses were available. I went and had an eye doctor appointment,
Mm.
got checked out for all that stuff, right? And so it took them a little while to get them done. I got that call that they were ready and went and
Well,
picked them
that's a
up.
pretty good excuse because
It
it
it's
sounds like you were already out and about, which means you could have technically picked it up
well,
at the same time of your glasses, but that's just
well,
me. I'm gonna throw
uh-huh.
that out there.
Well, just go ahead and add insult to injury because I deserve it because over there by the eyeglass place is BJ's.
Wow, so you had
Yes,
options.
I had a plan and I even told myself, "You know what? I'm gonna go try what is the dessert that BJ's has that."
The Dubai Pizookie.
Yes, yes. Well, I was gonna do that today because it was on my list, and for some reason, I think the phone rang and I did not have a chance, and that became an
Well,
excuse.
it sounds like you have some work to do. Again, you're gonna have to
Yep,
make up for it with a good one
yep.
for next week's episode. As what dessert did you try? But in the meantime, I will give you some excitement, something to look forward to,
Okay.
because as of I think today, actually, so I don't know if this was even out yesterday, maybe today, I'm not sure. But Andy's just dropped their Valentine's Day flavor of
No.
their custard, which is a red velvet jackhammer. And when I saw that, I was like, this guy over here, Mr. Chris,
Yes,
that's his
absolutely.
language. That's his love language, ironically during
Absolutely.
Valentine's.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I'm putting that on my list as well. And it's funny because I was just thinking about it, and I was going to do it last week, but for some reason, I didn't get to because of other reasons. But this week, some of my friends are going with me to church from the job site,
Mhm.
and we were talking about going to BJ's afterwards. So because it's right around the corner from
There
the
you
church,
go.
yeah. So yeah, we're going to be able to slam some of those to dos off the to do
Good.
list.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, this weekend. So what did you try?
You have some making up to do.
Yeah.
Well, I did not disappoint, first of all.
Yes,
When I
Christmas.
got there, I immediately had the intentions to bring some desserts of the week, some top desserts of the week, if you will, and a couple. I tried to narrow it down. It made it easier that half of the trip I absolutely failed that mission because I wasn't able to eat. But when we first got there, I ended up getting it was at a restaurant in downtown Disney called Black Top Black Tap? Black Tap, I need to find out exactly what it was. A
Black
burger
hat.
joint,
Okay.
and they had Black Tap, I think,
Okay.
and it was a burger joint, but they also have a massive bar dedicated to crazy shakes. So they're these crazy, just
Yep.
crazy looking shakes, and
Yep.
I got the Brooklyn Blackout, which is literally chocolate ice cream with chocolate brownie, chocolate drizzled, chocolate chips, and a double layer of chocolate infused swirl into it. So it was chocolate overload, to say the least.
Yeah, that
In a good
sounds
way.
very rich. It sounds like overload central,
It was.
maybe even a lot like. Okay, so wait a minute. You did this on the same day that you tried Randy's?
Yes, this was later that day. As you
Oh,
can see, cheat week was already commenced. Vacation mode was already commenced.
yes. Yeah, it was in full. Okay, so you actually tried several new desserts. So you made up for
Yeah,
my
well, dessert,
made up.
I don't know.
Yes.
Randy's was something
Yeah,
special. I don't
yeah.
know if I count that as my dessert of the week.
Well, it is a new dessert nonetheless.
That was some it was. Is it donut a dessert or is it a breakfast
Yes, it is.
item? Ooh,
No,
that's
it's
a
a
debate.
dessert. It's dessert. All right. If you're listening or
But then why do
watching,
we always eat it for breakfast?
well, I'm talking to the audience now. If you're listening or watching, I know you have an opinion on this, and maybe even you've done some research on this. We want to know, is it a breakfast or is it dessert? I personally think
It's a
it's a
good
dessert.
question.
I do. I think it's a dessert. It fits into the dessert category, right? Because I mean,
I think you're right.
you wouldn't. Well, I mean, who would eat a donut as the main course, right? Nobody.
Everyone does for breakfast.
Well, no.
You get a box of donuts and you're literally eating donuts that morning. You're not eating
Mm.
anything else. You're not eating eggs and bacon with a side of donut. You're getting a donut and you're getting a couple donuts and that's your breakfast for
Mm,
most people.
mm. Okay.
So
Well,
that's a good question. Chris made a good question. Leave it in the comments so that way we know and we can determine once and for all, is a donut a breakfast or a dessert? Good question.
well.
Yeah, we need some little.
In meantime, we'll just go with my analogy. It's a dessert.
Okay, okay. I do agree.
It may not be so on
It
the.
wasn't on my ranking.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Even though you tried two desserts, the only one.
The main priority was yes, the main priority was the black top Brooklyn blackout crazy shake that I had tried, and then I
Wow.
had an honorable mention,
My.
which what one of them was Randy's Donuts, but then it trickled down because of the fact that I dropped the ball by getting sick. I got sick, and it's never fun to get sick because you can't do a lot of things, including eat, and half of that vacation was disappointingly not eating, and other honorable anyways, not to get too sad about it, the other honorable mention that I had that was one of the top for me, but not the top, like the Brooklyn Blackout, was the bread pudding and vanilla custard like icing on top.
Mm,
It had a vanilla custard icing banana pudding at the Storytellers Cafe breakfast buffet,
my
and I had
goodness.
way too much of that.
That sound
I didn't
was
know how much I liked bread pudding. It was so warm. It was overly
especially
warm.
when it's warm and has really sweet glaze on top of it. Oh
You
my
had that
goodness gracious.
drizzle. Yeah, the vanilla custard. It was a vanilla custard glaze.
Yes.
It was good, dude. We need to find a place that has banana pudding, or I keep saying banana bread pudding
Bread
in
pudding.
Denver for us to try.
You know, your mom and I went
Like
way back
homemade.
when in another life. We were youth pastors in Mississippi, and there was this lady right around the corner from the church that used to make these meals and opened her home and sold meals out of her home. And that's how she made extra money. And she made the pudding that would knock your socks off, man. It was hot, right? She brought
Mm,
it out in a big pan and you dished up some and then you took this really
mm.
amazing glaze, and drizzled it over the top of it. And oh my goodness gracious. There are a lot of good things to be said about a good bread pudding. Well then, you
I
enjoyed
don't
it, though.
think I'm gonna be able to find that again,
What?
man. And
Yeah.
now that thinking back on it, I'm questioning if that may have topped the Black Brooklyn
Well,
Blackout Crazy Shake.
wow.
They're top contenders to say the least. I just
Okay.
really enjoyed the Crazy Shake, and it started off strong with being one of the first few items that I had on that vacay.
Okay.
But this was an honorable mention nonetheless. If you are listening out there and you just so happen to be from Denver, you know the Denver area, and you know any good bread pudding spots, let us know. We will go try them and be happy to let you know what we thought.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And thank you already in advance. I'm quite certain that Google or some AI mechanisms in our phones would probably hook us up. But if you know
That's
one
true.
and
And
you're
you
into.
are currently residing in that area, which means you have the inside scoop at all times. So you
Yeah,
may need to do some
yeah.
investigating while you're down there until we come visit.
I know
You
just
need to
the
try
person
some new desserts.
who is gonna know. Yep. It's a
Well, then,
secure.
okay, that settles it. Ask him and
Yep.
then find out if he knows the bread pudding secret spot.
I am. I am at well, it's a her. She's one of the security guards on our job site
Okay.
who happens to know like all these really good places to go for old-fashioned home cooking, right? And bread
Mm,
pudding just happens to fit into that category. I'm asking her first thing tomorrow. Yep.
okay. Well, let me know. Let
Yeah,
us know the
absolutely.
next time we chat it up. And if I get down there, we'll have to go try it out and See if we can find a good bread pudding in Denver in comparison to that of Storytellers Cafe in Grand California.
What a name, Storytellers Cafe.
Mhm.
Was there memorabilia? Was that place set up around the theme of storytelling?
Yes, it was like so the Grand Californian is like a lodge in a national forest,
Yes.
kinda to that similar of, like, Yellowstone or something like that, or
Yeah.
Snowy Range,
Yeah.
Medicine Bow, areas around us
Yes.
up here in Wyoming, and the lodge inside the restaurant, it felt like you were going into that kind of like, you're going to the lunchroom cafeteria, but very classy. I'm not gonna degrade it by any means. It was very classy. It had these really cool inspirational quotes on the wall that I can't think of for the life of me right now, but at the time I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's nice."
Were they telling a story?
And then it had really good theming. Yes, it was very reminiscent of that, like you were just about to go around the campfire and make some hot dogs and s'mores type of vibe with Mickey
Uh-huh.
Mouse.
Nice. Well, it was all
So
close.
it was good. What?
It was all close, really close together, you know?
Yes, it was a smaller, yeah, the buffet kinda like just like it was like a little hub in the middle, and, anytime we go back, Tiff and I were telling each other that this is going to have to become a tradition, is going to Storytellers Cafe anytime we go to California.
Well, it looks like I have 2 reasons, more than 1 at least, but 2 reasons to make a trip to LA. I've been to LA several
Maybe
times
so? I'd
and
recommend it.
had no idea about any of these things except for Randy's, but I just felt like if I ever went to Randy's, I was gonna be so terribly disappointed. I didn't wanna mess that up, so I didn't go to Randy's,
But
right?
one way to find out, man. You
Well,
can't
no,
live that way.
absolutely.
That's the wrong mindset to think.
Well, okay, I don't know what you were expecting, but you were probably expecting nothing more than the experience of going and being able to say you did it. Am I right? You know? But then you were
Huh?
surprised.
I didn't
But
even
you were
have the
surprised.
intention of getting a donut.
Okay. Just a picture. That's great.
Yeah, just a picture, and then I was like, "Might as well start the vacation off right." Grabbed a donut, and then to my surprise, became one of my top.
That's pretty amazing though. That's really amazing. Well, so is that all of the food from this weekend then? I guess it is because you got sick.
Just about. Yeah, I was, I did, yeah. So that's just about everything as far as food and experiences. And like I said, not to beat a dead horse, but like I said, there's going to be some videos out on it. So if you want to check it out, go to Noah Avery on YouTube. Check them out in person if they are already out. If not, look forward to them in the future. That's wrapping up my trip to Disneyland. Short but sweet.
Exciting. Exciting. Well, but you got some stuff coming from it. And by the way, if you haven't already, and you want to make sure that you catch these stories about these things that Noah's talked about tonight, go find Noah Avery. Is that what it is on your personal profile? Okay.
Noah Avery on YouTube.
Go find it and then follow you, right? And then click the little bell to tell it, hey, send me a notification when he posts, right? And that way you can make
There
sure
we
that
go.
you don't,
Yeah, I always
well,
forget that's a thing.
yeah, right. And it's just like saying like and subscribe, right? Like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
Mhm.
Everything we should like and subscribe. But that's the like and subscribe feature in Instagram. Am I not? Am I right?
Mhm. And YouTube.
And
Hit
YouTube.
the
Oh,
little bell so that way you will be notified when I
yes,
do post and
yes.
new posts that come out.
And whatever you do, don't do it on mine because you won't like it. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, yeah, just be warned when you go to Chris's profile, which they will be attached in the description. So if
Well,
you dare to
but don't.
explore Chris's page, just be forewarned. They're drastically different.
Yeah, it's funny. I This morning I walked in my office and my phone dinged a couple times, and it was somebody responding to something I posted, and they weren't happy, and I got a chance to have a little conversation with them. And I always enjoy that, you know that. But definitely do notice. Oh,
Hmm.
it was an eventful trip. You guys came back. Really, it
Yes.
seems like almost as quick as you left, quite frankly, since I picked you up at
Yeah,
the
dude,
airport.
it was like a blink. And that's the thing that I still haven't figured out is when you're when you're on a when you're doing something fun, it always flies by.
Yes.
And it's difficult to live in the moment to the degree that you would like being, that you're enjoying it
Yep.
I'm trying to capitalize by filming it so I can look back on it,
Come on.
but, I just gotta get better at it. So, over time, that takes time, over time, and then really figuring out the secret that means to live in the moment on those fun moments
Yes. Yes. And
and
it
not
doesn't.
get caught up in the mumbo jumbo of being
Yeah.
busy in vacation.
Yep, yep. Well, at the same time, we get to live vicariously through you. Thank you very much for taking pictures and doing your vlog and all that stuff because, not everybody gets a chance to jump on a plane or as a spontaneous Christmas present. I don't know how spontaneous it really was. Apparently, you were thinking a little bit about it, right? But deciding to give that to your wife as a
Yes, I planned
present,
it a little bit.
did you? Yeah, well, I mean, making that a decision and then not everybody has a chance to do that because we're all kind of busy, right? But so thank you for doing that as well. Well, my brother, I'm going
Are we
to talk
wrapping up?
next week. I'll talk next week about this dessert from BJ's because what
Good
do you
to
call it?
I'm glad to hear it.
What do you call that thing again? It's a
Pazuki,
Bazuki. They've got what is the name of that chocolate? The chocolate that you get from Dubai.
Dubai,
Yeah, the Dubai chocolate. Bazuki, if I'm not mistaken, Bazuki, and then we've also got to try that
if
Andes
it's still
flavor.
out.
Yeah, that's true. But we've also got to try that Andes flavor before next week. So I'll have a couple to discuss.
That you do. You got some more. You got your work cut out for you.
Yes, sir. Yep, looking forward to it. Well,
Well, there you have it. That's a wrap for Noah and Chris here on Duo Jive for this week's episode. Just a little recap of my adventure to Disneyland and some highlight points, along with some dessert of the week, which Chris was slacking. I mean, I'm not gonna let it get past it. He has some work to do to catch up on it.
yeah.
But overall, fun week. If you have anything that you want to see in future, or if you have any comments, or any any bread pudding spots
Yep.
in the Denver area, please let us know.
As always, Noah and I are really excited about the opportunity every week to get to spend this time with our audience of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20, whatever it is, right? We're just excited that you're here. But we don't want it to be a one-way street either. So that means when you hear what we're talking about, if you disagree, or maybe like it, or maybe want to talk about it, or something else that has come to your mind while we're talking, please do make a comment, share your comments. We like that. Although the past couple episodes haven't taken a look at those comments because we've been so busy with a couple of things. But that doesn't mean that we don't want them. So please do share a comment or 2 or 3 or gripe us out. It's happened once, right? But we do look forward to that.
That's what it's all about, is having those conversations with people.
Interaction, turning it into a two-way street. So thank you for that. I'll thank you for that in advance, just in case you are thinking, right?
With that, I'm going to wrap it up with this week's hot take of the week.
Okay.
The pressure to make the most of it ruins vacations. So make sure to live in the moment.
Ooh,
And with that, remember, live life to the fullest.
well, that was philosophical.